I'm filming an intro. This is the intro. My hips hurt, I'm tired, I've been here for an hour. I need to film other stuff. I've just been sitting here talking about stuff for so long because I filmed the intro after I filmed everything else. It's complicated. If you know, you know. I gotta stop complaining at the beginning of these. I just sound like I don't want to be here. Alright, so hello and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be going over the Sephora VIB sale and specifically what I've tried and what I really like and what I think you should pick up at the sale. You don't need to pick up everything, but there's a couple of really good things that I think you might want to add those to your list. You know, you just may just want to throw them in the cart. Just throw them in. Today I will be going over my recommendations for all of the categories at Sephora, so that includes skincare, makeup, hair care, and fragrances. So if you're unfamiliar, the Sephora VIB sale happens twice a year, and it's a time where you get a discount depending on how much you bought into the system. So if you are at the lowest level, so that's the Beauty Insider level, you get a 10% discount. If you're at the second level, which is the VIB level, you get a 15% discount, and then if you're at the top level, the Rouge level, then you get 20% off. It's kind of a big deal. It really adds up whenever it comes to Sephora because they are so expensive. Just a really good time to take advantage of the sale. So I really wait to try and get the things that I've been looking forward to on those dates. If you find this video helpful at any point in the video, press pause and like the video, okay? It would actually really help me out a lot. Things like liking and commenting and subscribing and turning on your notification bell. I have a arbitrary goal of reaching 100 subscribers on this channel, which is a very small goal, I know, but it's just something that I look forward to and it's a little milestone, and let me have my little milestones, okay? I'm very close and if you feel so inclined, go ahead and subscribe, like, and comment. All right, I think without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, so first I'm actually going to start out with skincare. So this is something that I don't talk about a lot on my channel, but is obviously super important to having flawless looking makeup or makeup that makes you feel pretty and just makes you feel good in your own skin. So unfortunately, Sephora does not have a lot of skincare that I really like. A lot of the skincare that I use is actually from Honest Beauty, which is not carried by Sephora. The stuff that I do like from Sephora, the stuff I will actually splurge on to purchase from Sephora, they're good. They're really good. So the first recommendation that I have for skincare is actually Glow Recipe. I really like this brand. I've tried out a lot from them. I've tried multiple little mini sets from them. I've tried full-size products. I've tried almost everything that they have, and I really like it. I will say that if you don't like fragrance in your skincare, you probably won't like Glow Recipe. They usually have a lot of really fruity scents in their skin products. But if you can get over that, and if you like fragrance in your skincare, then you probably will really like Glow Recipe. So the first thing that I'm going to recommend is their Glow Recipe Pink Juice. I've gone through 2 bottles of these already, and I think it's a perfect little primer moisturizer to use right before putting on makeup. It kind of makes your skin nice and smooth, and it makes foundations a lot easier to put on. Next are the Glow Recipe Lip Pops. So I have the newer blueberry one, and then I also have the original watermelon one, I believe. It doesn't say, but I think it's a watermelon scent. I have gone through one whole thing of these, and these are the 2 backups that I have. So these actually have little exfoliating beads inside, and they are really nice to use at night to just exfoliate my lips but keep them moisturized. I have had terrible experiences with exfoliators for my lips, but this one is just gentle enough that it leaves your lips super smooth. So I highly recommend those. They're one of my favorites. And getting them on sale is definitely a plus. And then the last thing that I want to recommend from Glow Recipe is the Banana Souffle Moisture Cream. So this is a great moisturizer for night. It's a great moisturizer specifically for people with dry skin. I don't think people with oily skin would really like it because it does have a little bit of a, I don't want to say greasy feeling, but it's definitely a little bit thicker than most cream moisturizers even. Like it says, it's a souffle. There's like kind of like a whipped bouncy texture of the moisturizer. I think it's beautiful. I do go through these quite quickly, so I don't buy these very often, but whenever I need something just a little bit more intense than my regular creams, I'll buy this every once in a while. So like I said, I don't have very many products to recommend in the skincare category, but I do have a couple of things that I think I can't find anywhere else and I would really only buy it from Sephora. So one of those is the Herbivore Prism Serum. So this is a really good serum for exfoliating your skin. I have used it for about a year now. Has 12% AHA and 3% BHA. It's just a great little moisturizing thing to put on that actually helps with clearing breakouts and clearing acne scars. I notice a huge difference when I use it, and like I said, I've been trying it out for a year. Next recommendation is this Skin Fix Barrier Plus Foaming Clay Cleanser. I am kind of newish to this cleanser. I've been using it for maybe a couple months at this point, which still feels kind of new to me. I've really been enjoying it. It's very gentle, very soft, but it still gives you a really nice clean. There are certain cleansers that are just way too gentle, and like when I touch my face after, it still feels like kind of like oily, and I just really want my skin to feel fresh, clean, without being too dry. And that's what it does. So that's why I recommend it. Okay, last thing to recommend in the skincare category is the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask. So these last forever. I recommended them for my winter recommendations, and I really have not made a lot of progress on this. It really leaves your lips super juicy, and I really like that. My lips tend to be dry no matter what time of year it is, so I use it pretty much every night. I notice my lips are always juicy, and I notice when I don't use it, my lips aren't juicy. So it's more than just like, oh, I use it every day and I'm not sure if it makes a difference. It's like I use it every day, and when I don't use it, like I can tell that I didn't use it. And that is it for the skincare category. So next is makeup. So this is by far my biggest category that I will be shopping for the sale, and for good reason. They have really good makeup options. The things that I buy at Sephora are usually like in the complexion categories or the eyeshadow categories, or really just things that I know Sephora does better than other places. So things like brow products or things like eyeliner or mascara, a lot of those things I don't buy at Sephora because I think it's overpriced and I think that you can find better elsewhere. So those are things that I won't be shopping at Sephora. So the things that I will be shopping at Sephora, and specifically for spring, it's gonna be foundation, it's gonna be blush, and it's gonna be eyeshadows. That's pretty much it, with some exceptions, okay? I have 3 recommendations for foundations, 3 recommendations for foundations for spring. Why is that so difficult for me? So spring foundation. So what I look for in a spring foundation is usually on the more lightweight side, usually has some sunscreen built into it, and just makes me look super nice no matter what time of year it is. Okay, so some good formulas that I really like. I'm gonna start with the lightest coverage and then work into the more medium coverage. The first one that I would recommend is the Ilia Super Serum Skin Tint. So I actually have mine in the shade 6 Aura, has an SPF of 40, and also has hyaluronic acid, squalene, and niacinamide built into it. So it has a lot of good skincare ingredients, just a lot of good sun protection in general, but also a lot of hydration. So I apply this with a sponge, and it gives me just like a nice no makeup look. It's really helpful. It's kind of just a product that I can't find anywhere else. Like I don't have other products that do all of those things like skincare, sun care, and gives me coverage, and it's like super light coverage. So I really like it, and it really gets a lot of things checked off for me for spring. So next recommendation for spring foundation is a little bit newer to me, but it's the Giorgio Armani Neo Nude Foundation. I have mine in the shade 3.5. It's meant for light olive skin. It's what I'm actually wearing today. It's a beautiful glowy foundation, but without being too glowy. There are certain products that I have that kind of make me look greasy, and I think that this makes me look nice and radiant, but not greasy. So I really like it. I actually just did a video on it in the Who Did It Better series that I just started last week. So if you are interested, go check it out in action in that video. So this is basically a light medium coverage. You can definitely build it up to a medium, but you can also keep it very light depending on how you apply it. So I like this one because it covers all the things that I don't want to see, like acne scars or things like that, but it still kind of leaves a little bit of freckles peeking through where I want them to peek through. So I usually keep my nose a little bit sheer than everywhere else, and then I'll like cover things that are popping up like acne down here a little bit more. So I really like the formulation of it, first of all, but I also like the color match. It's like really, I think it's a really good color match for the rest of my skin. So that's what it looks like up close. Okay, so the third foundation that I'm gonna recommend, I recommend this in every recommendation video. It's one of my favorites. Okay, it is the Rare Beauty foundation. I think it's, what is it called? I think it's the Rare Beauty Weightless Foundation. I think if you have oilier skin, you would actually like this one a lot better than the other two. This I noticed has a little bit of a dry down texture and it feels very light and almost like powder whenever it dries. Works with powder, works with liquid. It's just really versatile. And the texture is kind of like unlike anything else. Definitely a medium coverage. For shade reference, I have mine in the shade 180W. Again, this is a brand that has a lot of good shade matches, so that's why I usually use Sephora for my foundations, because they usually get my foundation shades more correct than a lot of other brands that you may find at the drugstore. I think that's all I want to say about that one. I've talked about it before, so I really don't want to talk about it for too much, but I do still really like it, and I think it's a good option for spring. So next recommendation for makeup from Sephora is spring blushes. So I think that most colors work year round. Like, you really don't need a spring color and then like a winter color. You can wear peaches in the winter, you can wear berries in the spring. I mean, like, it just doesn't matter, right? So I really don't have a lot of spring blush recommendations. I really only have one that I would recommend, and it's quickly becoming a favorite of mine. It's the NARS Claudette Blush Duo. So it has two tones in it. One's a peachier tone and one is a darker, like more beigey tone. And both of them are really beautiful. It's kind of the perfect tones for me. I really, really like it. And it's like this cute little compact. I love the compact itself. I love the mirror. I would splurge on this one, quite honestly. Like, if you're looking for like a good blush compact and you're like me, like these are the two tones that you use all the time, you may really like this as well. So the other two recommendations, or they're not even really recommendations, these are just products that I'm interested in that I think are gonna be really good. So Melt cream blushes. They just came out with their cream blushes maybe a couple weeks ago. So I'm really interested in the shades, and I'm also interested in the formulations. They have more solid colors, and then they also have blush lights, which are kind of a more highlighty color and have a little bit of pearl running through them. So I'm really interested in those, the ones that have the more shimmery pearls running through them. And I think I'm going to use the sale to pick one up. They look really good. They look really, really good. So I think I'm gonna pick that one up. The next thing that I would recommend picking up from Sephora using the sale are eyeshadows, and specifically the eyeshadows that I've been really liking for spring are Huda Beauty's eyeshadows. I think that she comes out with some really great colors, some really great pastels. So I have two of her palettes with me. One of my new favorites is the Mint palette from in the pastel collection. I think that the color story is perfect for spring. I've used it a lot more than I thought I was going to. I don't really have any minty colors like that in my collection, and I think that's the reason why I pick it up so much, is because I don't have anything else like it. So this is one palette that I highly recommend, and I think I'm actually going to pick up the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde, or Retrograde Mercury. I think it's Mercury Retrograde. Mercury. I'm gonna pick up the Huda Retrograde palette. That is a perfect palette for spring. I think that it has some really nice pastels, but really punchy colors in there as well. And it's balanced out really nicely with a lot of nudes. I love the way that she lays out all of her palettes. They really are pretty intuitive whenever you look at them. Another palette that I've tried from Huda that I think, if you like a little bit grungier tones and you don't really ascribe to the whole idea of spring colors and winter colors, and you just like all colors, then I think you'd really like the Huda Beauty Khaki Haze palette. So I've had this one since the fall, last fall, and I still use it all the time. The shimmers are really fantastic, and the mattes are also really good. A lot of times these go on sale anyway, so maybe you don't even need to use the Sephora VIB sale for it. Maybe just pick it up whenever you see it go on sale. But I definitely think that this is a formula that is one of my favorites. So some of my new favorite products that are quickly becoming one of my new favorite brands is Kaja. So they have been on Sephora for a little while, definitely a few years at this point. I have two of their products that I think are my absolute favorite of the category. So first off is the Kaja Don't Settle Concealer. It's a nice bouncy concealer. I think the texture is perfect. I think the color is perfect. I just think it's perfect, and it's definitely my new favorite. Second from the brand are the Kaja Heart Melter Lip Balms. I really love these. I mean, they're just like perfect. They're the perfect texture. They're balms, and they really don't stick to really anything. I can put this on, put on a mask, and like nothing happens. So it's a really wonderful creamy formula that just like magically doesn't stick. The two colors that I have are Too Hot and then Crazy For You. This is pretty much all I wear throughout the week. So I think both of these are really great. It's a pretty affordable brand anyway, but I think getting it at a discount will make you more likely to try it. So that's why I recommend these two. Next Still in the makeup category. It's kind of a big recommendation, but I think that the sale is really the perfect time to pick up anything from Charlotte Tilbury. I mean, like literally anything from Charlotte Tilbury. I think she does a really great job at all of her complexion products. I think that all of her eyeshadows are wonderful. I think that all of her lipsticks are wonderful. I mean, this woman does no wrong. But I guess I will specifically recommend the things that I have tried out. First recommendation is the Charlotte Tilbury setting powder. I have this in a small size, I like the mini size, and I have it in the shade Fair 1. So I use this to set my under eyes, and it's just like such a nice fine powder. I really do think that this is the best powder that I've tried. Lots and lots of people love this powder as well. So I think that now's the perfect time. Charlotte Tilbury really does not have a lot of sales on her website or on Sephora. So now's a good time to try it out if you've been wanting to try it out. Okay, so next, I think that her lipstick formula, specifically her Matte Revolution formula, is fantastic. She has really great everyday colors, so you know that you'll use them. I have 3 of them. I just bought a little mini set over Christmas, and I believe all 3 of them were $25 together. So it was really affordable. So the shades that I have are Very Victoria, Walk of No Shame, and Pillow Talk. I'll probably overlay a little swatch here. So yeah, those are the shades that I have. And I like all 3 of them. Honestly, they all serve a purpose. So this is a silly recommendation, but I mean, if you know, you know. The Airbrush setting spray is actually really, really good from Charlotte Tilbury. It does have a little bit of a scent, but it really keeps my makeup in place all day. I noticed a big difference using this. And it's one of the best that I've tried. I don't try a lot of high-end setting sprays, but this one I do really like the feel of it. The mister is definitely a lot better than a lot of drugstore misters that I've tried, and the formula of it really actually sets my makeup in place without making my face feel like weird and sticky. It's a good one. I would recommend picking that one up if you were interested. And then the last thing that I would recommend from Charlotte Tilbury are her eyeshadow palettes. So I have the Bejeweled Eyes to Hypnotize palette. This is one of her larger palettes. It's not for sale anymore. It was just a holiday release, but she does still have her Pillow Talk larger palette, which is quite similar. I think that her eyeshadow formula is actually really, really good. It's one of the best that I've tried. It's just very smooth. I'm wearing it on my eyes today, but I'm like barely wearing anything, so it's really not a good example. But the shimmers are beautiful, the mattes are beautiful. It's just very smooth and doesn't give a lot of drag, but doesn't leave behind a lot of kickback, just like her powders. It's just very fine, very smooth, but gives you a lot of pigment. I know I'm kind of breaking the rules a little. Like I already said that I don't buy mascara from Sephora, but this is the one mascara that I buy from Sephora. So this is the Marc Jacobs At Lash mascara. This came out over the summer, I believe, like last summer, and a lot of people fell in love with it. I was very hesitant to buy it, and I finally picked up a sample. And I really, really like it. I mean, it's just as wonderful as everybody says it is. I have said this a million times, but I'm somebody that has very short, straight lashes. So I really need a product to give me something to work with. It really separates out my lashes a lot better than a lot of other mascaras. It's just a good mascara. And if you were looking to just buy a fancy mascara, that is the one fancy mascara that I think you should buy. Okay, so next I'm going to talk about fragrances. This is something that I don't buy regularly. I almost never remember to put on a perfume in the morning. It's just not something that's part of my routine. But I do enjoy picking up new ones, and I don't want to like overspend on fragrances. So with that testing period that I've had for this past year, pretty much, I collected my top 4 fragrances that I would actually recommend. The first one being the Versace Dylan Blue. So as you can tell, I just have a little mini version, and I really, really like the Versace Dylan Blue. It's just such a nice, warm smell. And it's actually the Dylan Blue pour femme, so that means it's for women. They have a male counterpart of the same fragrance. And yeah, this is just a perfect little, I'm not good at describing fragrances, but this is one of my new favorite perfumes. I love this perfume. So the next scent that I've fallen in love with, this one I actually had to use points for. I think it was like 500 points, so I don't know what I was thinking. But it's the Moschino Toy 2. I feel like really clean scents, like a laundry smell. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but if you like that scent, you'll know what I mean. It kind of just smells super clean, and it's like just a really fresh perfume. And then next, one of my top fragrances that I would recommend you picking up is kind of in the floral scent. So we have a deep one with the Dylan Blue, we have a fresh one with the Machino Toy 2, and now this one is more of the florally, just like a very pretty smell. This is the Dahlia and Vines by Nest. This was actually the fragrance that I used on my wedding day, so I'm just, yeah, it's nice. It's my favorite. It's just my favorite. I wore it on my wedding day, so it always reminds me of my wedding. And yeah, I just have good memories with it. I don't love floral smells, but this is a floral that I will accept. It's just really nice, really pretty, but not too much, you know what I mean? Not too fruity or anything like that. Next recommendation is Daisy Dream by Marc Jacobs. So I think Marc Jacobs has some of the best perfume scents. I've tried a lot of them and really you can't go wrong with any of them. But the ones that I'm specifically recommending today are the Daisy Dream perfumes. I've had the big size, I've had the mini size, I've had the rollerball size. I've gone through so many of these. Like it's one of my favorite scents. I wore it a lot growing up. I remember my dad would always get these for me as a gift and I really, really like it. And I still like it and I still use them. The two that I have are actually discontinued, I believe, but they're kind of still around if that makes sense. So this is the Daisy Dream by Marc Jacobs. There's a lot of different daisies, but this one is specifically the blue one and it's the Dream. But the part that's discontinued are the varieties. So I have Sweet Dream and I also have Daydream. I believe it's just down to Daisy Dream on the Sephora website. So these are a little different, but they're kind of in the same family. It's a nice sweet smell. It's not too fruity, it's not too florally, it's just kind of like a sweet, if that makes sense. Those are my 4 recommendations for fragrances. So next I'm going to be talking about hair care from Sephora. So the first thing I'm going to recommend is actually the Amika blow dryer brush. This thing is a saving grace. I love this thing so much. This is actually the first step in straightening my hair. So as you can tell, I have super, super curly hair. I think it's either 3B or 3C type of curls. If you know, you know. This really, really gets my hair pretty straight. It doesn't get it all the way straight, but it really cuts the time in half of how much I actually do have to straighten my hair. It usually takes about 30 minutes to do that with the Amika blow dry brush. And then I will just spot straighten different pieces that I see, usually the ones that are framing my face. It really only takes about 45 minutes to do everything. So that includes the blow dry time and the spot straightening time. And for me, that's a pretty big deal. Usually it takes me about like 2 hours to do that, so it really cuts my time in half. I recommend it if you're looking for something like that. It's very similar to the Revlon blow dry brush. I actually had that one first, but unfortunately for me, the Revlon blow dry brush, the bristles kind of come out after a while, especially with like hair like mine. I used it for about a year and then I replaced it with the Amika blow dry brush. And I think I like the Amika one better. So straightening, so the straightener that I got, I actually just got a new straightener for the first time in like 10 years. Like I've had the same straightener for so long and I finally replaced it, is the Dry Bar Tress Press, and I have mine in the 1-inch format. Yeah, it's just the perfect size. The heat settings are just right. It warms up so quickly and it's supposed to be better for your hair or healthier for your hair, but with the way the plates work, but I don't know enough about that to really get into it. I do know that I like it and that I'm very happy with those 2 tools in my life, and I don't use them all the time, but when I do, they get it done just in time. So I really like it and I would recommend it. Another thing that I would pick up from Sephora and that I really like and really have been enjoying is the Dry Bar Hot Toddy Heat Protectant Mist. I use this in between blow drying my hair and straightening my hair. So like I said, I don't straighten it too much, so I really don't need a lot of this, but I do like to keep my hair as healthy and protective as possible. I like it mostly because of the smell. The smell is a lot nicer than a lot of other heat protectant mists that I've tried. It's just a good one. It gets the job done. I think that this is always an essential in my hair care routine. Since I don't talk about hair care very much on my channel, and I know a lot of people would be interested in it, especially this year, it seems like a lot of people are really leaning into their hair's natural texture and their hair's natural curl. So I was just wanting to take some time to actually recommend some hair care products that have been really working for me and for my curls. So I've been recently using a lot of Eva NYC products. Those have been really working for me, and specifically the Main Magic line. I really like this line. It's a 10-in-1. So it has a lot of benefits, a lot of oils, and just things that really work well for my hair, and my hair really just drinks it up. And this is a really affordable brand. It's not a high-end brand by any means, but it's definitely not super cheap. It's just a nice mid-range, affordable brand. You can buy this at Ulta. You can also buy it from their website, and I think at Amazon as well. So I've been using these for several months now at this point. I also recently started using their Tone It Down Blonde shampoo, and the formula is really similar to the Main Magic formula. It also has argan oil, and it really nourishes my hair while still toning it and keeping out the brass. Another one that I wanted to recommend from them though, while I don't want to spend too much time on it because it's not in the sale, it's not at Sephora. What am I doing? It's the end of the video, I'm kind of tired anyway. Is the Main Magic 10-in-1, I think it's a primer. So I use this right after I get out of the shower and right before I blow dry my hair. It just keeps my hair nice and moisturized, and then usually after I'm done styling, I'll put this on as well. So really you could use it for a lot of different purposes, but for me it keeps my hair nice and healthy and nourished and doesn't leave it feeling dry. So this is another thing that I use all the time. It's a perfect little travel size bottle. You can buy the bigger one and then refill the travel size, which is what I do. If you were interested, if you cared, I don't know, if you're still here, those are my recommendations for hair outside of the sale. If you were just wondering, maybe I'll do a whole dedicated video of my hair care routine, but those are some staples that I figured I'd mention if you were wanting to know. And with that, that is all from me today. I hope that these kind of gave you a little bit better of an idea of what you're going to be looking for at the Sephora sale, or maybe something to add to your list that you weren't thinking about. I would definitely take advantage of it. Narrow down your list. You don't need everything, but maybe pick up a couple of things, okay? So if you did like this video, it'd be really helpful if you actually press the thumbs up button. Take some time right now. Press pause if you have to. The video's ending soon. And like the video. Okay. And then also leave a comment down below of things that you're thinking about picking up from the Sephora VIB sale. I guess I will see you at the same time, the same place, next week. Bye. Oh, my nails kind of don't match. I use the calming cleanser, the foaming calming cleanser, I don't know. Levi, what's up?
The store does not have the requested product. Organic raspberry vinaigrette available.
I don't want any other one.
And a non-organic fig balsamic vinaigrette.
Oh wait, I'll have that. I'm not left out, am I? Maybe I just want to scrap all of that actually. I don't even want to say that.